Whenever you folks are ready.
Let's give it a few seconds.
Sure. No, I see it just popped up too on my my YouTube notification. So yeah.
Okay. I think whenever you want to let everybody in.
Sure, I will. I'll admit everybody. Let's do it. Appreciate y'all support. It's gonna be a great night. Let's do it.
Great.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Pull up a microphone. Prepare the warmest drink that you can think of. And let's get into this evening. Good morning, good evening, and welcome, everyone. Finally, Monday night has come back. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I'll be your host for the evening. I am Elemen2al. Happy Monday. This is the jump off. Let's go. Shout out to the sung hero of our community, the dopest producer in the Zoomverse and programs associate. You know that cat, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Get down with RMT. Also, shout out the one and only Nico Diaz for all that they do behind the scenes for making this thing work. Make sure you're plugging in with Nico Diaz. Look, folks, we've been doing this for 143 weeks. Where you been? Let's get to it. All right, folks. Again, we have been doing this for 143 weeks. We always look forward to all the incredible artistry that you folks bring every week. Every Monday is the highlight of my week. Let's get to it. We do this every Monday night, streaming live for 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on the screen. It is 279-995-364. Listen, it is really a different environment in the Zoom. Trust me, join in, connect with the poets, communicate with the community. This is all about building community, and this is one of the greatest communities in the world. All right, we do this thanks to some very dedicated folks who pay these bills. So we'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to this mix with a tax-deductible donation by checking into neweurekan.org/contribute or by hitting the Cash App at $ New Eurekan Poets Cafe. All right. You can find the usual host of this circus, advocate of words with a Z, you know, poetic license. Make sure you're plugging into that cat, sending him positive healing energy. We miss you, brother. Hope everything is good. Shout out to the First Lady of Monday Night and to Letters. You can find me, Elemen2al.com or Elemen2al the Poet on Instagram. Tonight's theme is the naughty list. Oh my goodness. Listen, we have made it all the way after all this holiday cheery red cheery is just beyond us, right? Or we are now beyond it. So now I'm looking forward to what list did you make, right? I'm looking forward to seeing how the poetic licenses flip tonight with this. All right. Next week's theme. Oh, also, this is the last Monday Night Online Open Mic of 2022. We have made it all the way to the end. And I truly, truly appreciate all of you for sticking through with us. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you folks have come up with this naughty list. Really. Next week, which will be the first Monday Night Online Open Mic of the year, our theme will be science fiction. All right. Listen, it's National Science Fiction Day, right? 2023 is going to have so many different galaxies and stories, right? And I'm looking forward to what you folks come up with, how we can transform dunes, the blue beetles. And listen, this is going to set the tone for the rest of our poems for the rest of the year, right? So I do hope that you really dig all the way into it. I know I am. And it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great start with science fiction. If your poem does not fit the theme tonight, if it's not on theme, that is totally cool. We are still very much looking forward to what you are bringing tonight. All right. Listen, let's get into the rules really quick so we can get to this poetry. Poets, turn your cameras on. All right. We want to try to simulate an in-person open mic as much as possible. We love to see your expressive nature when you're delivering your art. Plus, for voyeurism's sake, we like to see if you clean your room. So please turn your cameras on when you get ready to rip. Also, as you're getting ready to rip, please have your poems ready. If you're going analog style, have the paper open, the book open, so we can get to it. If you're going digital, please have the file open. So once we get to you and your camera rips on, you can be ready to rip. Please be cognizant of all the folks that we have in our community, and we want to make sure that we get to everyone on the list. All right, timing. Tonight, we're going to go 4 minutes like we did once before. We'll go 4 minutes, maybe a little bit over 4 minutes tonight. Hey, spirit of the holidays, let's just do it. Any language, any style, any form. Give a quick 30-second intro, let people know where they can find you online, what you may have coming up, what's going on, what latest manuscript you're working on. Let the folks know how they can plug into you and the community. Also, as you're getting ready to rip, also realize you can change your Zoom name so people can see what you're saying as well when they plug into your work. This is really all about building community, really. All right. It is now night 30 for the kids, okay? When it comes to this, you listen, this is why this warning is in here, okay? We have some very explicit lyricists in our community, and we have some very vulnerable poets that will come through with some very triggering language. Some of these things is going to turn it up, but also you might have some flashbacks, and flashbacks can be very, very triggering. So there is no censorship, all right? The founders of the cafe made freedom of speech a priority, and it continues to run through the veins of every component, and we will honor it to the fullest in every way possible, all right? Beyond any hatred or ism that people may use to exploit or manipulate people, which will not be tolerated, thou hath been warned, all right? I like to say poetry is a living, breathing trigger warning. If you'd like to give your own, please be my guest. But thou hath been warned, there is no an open mic. Let's get it. Poets, after the poet has ripped, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is a true call and response space. The poets are going to give you part of their life force, their energy, right? Virtually their blood that they deliver in these poems. When you see this pop up on your screen, this is your chance to give them that energy back, right? To share that energy that they are giving to you. Let them know how you truly feel. Let them know how these poems move you, right? If we were in a real cafe, in the cafe, you could do these things while it's happening in real life. But since we're not listening, listen, please, when you get that unmute, give the poets love. This is not an easy thing to do, right? It doesn't matter that you're sitting behind a screen. This is not an easy thing to do, to share a true, very true and vulnerable part of your spirit. So when you see this, make sure you unmute, give the poet some love. Listen, it really does make a difference, truly. All right, the sign-up list tonight is closed. However, we will be, possibly adding some folks to the list tonight. But the sign-up is closed. They begin 24 hours before the actual show begins, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, to sign up, you go to the newyourekan.org. You want to click on new full events calendar. You want to click on the Monday that you want to perform on. You need an artist RSVP ticket to get on the guaranteed list. Mind you, these tickets will not even populate until 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Once you have that, you will be on the guaranteed list. All right, coming up also in the cafe is the Wednesday night slam hosted by La Bruja. right? It goes down with them scores, man. If you're about that slam life, listen, plug in. La Bruja is going to be hosting it. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing evening. Also, the anthology is still in the works. Shout out to Jasmine, the program's assistant, for all they're doing to help this thing come to life. And lastly, don't forget about the Let's Write a Book of Poems series, hosted by the usual host, Advocate of Words, happens on Sunday. You can get the tickets. They're on Zoom and in the cafe. So if you want to plug in, please do. Make sure you're plugging into that. All right. Let's get to the poetry. Where are all the beautiful faces, like Advocate likes to say, right? There's everyone. Here are all the beautiful people. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. And of course, it's poetry, you know? So listen, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you. The New Eurekan appreciates you and all the energy that you always bring. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, I will post the list in the chat, and we will get this thing going. I truly, truly hope that everyone is having a good evening. I truly hope that everyone has had a good holiday. And I'm looking forward to hearing what folks have been doing in the past week. So to start it off this evening is the one and only. She's got books on books on books, right? Our resident beanie goddess, the one and only, set it off themselves, the one and only Deadpan Lizzie. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. It is so great to see you. It's the last one of the year. Plug in. Let's go, Deadpan. Mike is yours. Great to see you.
Thank you very much. Beanie blessings to you, Elemental, and our community. Happy holidays, everyone. Yeah, it's our last one of 2022. I'm excited for what we all share with each other in 2023. You can find me and my books on IG, ES_Strauss, or you can DM me here, and I will get you settled with that. I did write for the prompt. This is a thesis poem called Never Parallel to Each Other. Headstrong human beings we are born to be, electrons that keep the lights on. There will always be positive elements that charge us, negative atoms that leave bad tastes in others' mouths, including our own on unnerving days. Someone will always find at least one thing that bugs them about us, and vice versa. We cannot help what we resemble to others. So we scowl in their direction so sternly you cannot help but rattle them to their cores. No one is an angel, but there are plenty of devils that are rotten eggs. Unless they are read like an open book, we cannot understand why they have been tortured. I'm always hopeful for the good in every soul that touches down here on earth. Those who worm their way around the soils, bullying their neighbors back to heaven, cannot be given room for growth. We have naughty and nice lists 365 days a year, 24/7, how the world turns. And given honesty seems to be the hardest way for the naughty ones to exist, unless they're open to change, egos will continue to walk parallel in life with them. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Deadpan Lizzie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Thank you.
Thank you. I just
Sorry, Deadpan. Sorry, Deadpan. Hold on. One more time. Bring it back. Come on. Come back. Please. I wanted you to finish your thought. My apologies. Jump back on.
so sorry. I just wanted to say, because I had read that poem somewhere else and they thought it was extra potent. That poem had nothing to do with anyone in our space right now. I love everyone very dearly in this space. So please don't read into it. It was just for the prompt. So thank you for the space and the time as always.
Thank you, Deadpan. We appreciate you, Lizzie, for all that you do. Even the fact that you wanted to take the time to clarify that. I appreciate that. The community appreciates you for making sure that your message is received the way it was transmitted. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It really makes a difference. All right. Whew. Listen, it's things like that. And as I mentioned, as we were starting, this community is one of the best in the world, and it's for people like Lizzie and others that you will hear this evening who who really care about what we do. And this is why we continue to do what we do. Thank you, Lizzie, for setting it off as you usually do. All right, coming up next is, I believe this is your first time with us. Is that correct, Andrew? It is. Listen, we love new faces. I appreciate new faces. I appreciate the new energy that comes into this realm, this space. If you are unfamiliar with this space, let me tell you that you have stumbled upon a great community. You have found yourself in a corner full of weirdos who only love being in a corner full of weirdos, in the best of ways, of course. Welcome, welcome. Where are you located? Without giving me specifics on the map, where are you located?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh in the building. All right, I see Vale got their hand up too from Pittsburgh. Shout out Vale Larkin. We will hear from them in a little while. Andrew, listen, let the folks know where they can find you online, right? Plug whatever you have going on. And we are here for whatever that you want to share with us this evening. And I am looking forward to welcoming you to our community. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be quick. With my intro or anything. Thank you for having me. I'll just get right into my poem, or not poem, it's a short fiction piece. It's called Fuchsia. So without further ado. Fuchsia sits in their faux leather recliner, their Afghan covering them all the way to their neck. And Fuchsia's bees poke their heads up through the pale orange crocheted flowers in the Afghan, like they're black and yellow prairie dogs, scrambling over the cotton field before taking flight and swooping up to the top of Fuchsia's head, drinking from the nectar of deep purple flowers and resting their heads on glistening burgundy leaves that fall over Fuchsia's eyes like bangs, before they return to the beehive that sits tall atop Fuchsia, whispering and humming. Fuchsia sleeps sitting up in their chair so as not to disturb the bees in their honeycomb, and every night they fill Fuchsia's dreams with their busy murmuring. They sizzle with stories of sea silk and glowworms and flesh-colored pearls. They swerve in and out of dream-luminescent spiderweb strands, plucking them in the dark and communicating with all the other sleeping and skittering creatures. And in the morning, they wake from their sleep and buzz over to the thin row of open bottles on the windowsill, spitting out mouthfuls of dark purple honey, glowing red through the spring morning light. You're asking me what the honey tastes like. I've been to Fuchsia's house more than a few times, had afternoon tea the color of a healing bruise, and I have to say that their bees are among the most polite bees I've ever seen. Every now and then I'll look to the side and see one rubbing their forelegs together before they land on my arm and trot across the back of my hand, and it always makes me think of a guest wiping their feet before entering a house that isn't theirs. I've been to Fuchsia's house so often that I hear the same buzzing in my dreams now, the vibrating of invisible guitar strings, and it makes me feel safe, held close in the dark of night. I'm very lucky, is what I mean. Most people don't know how kind Fuchsia is and how kind and pleasant their bees are. Those that don't project their own slivers of human cruelty onto the bees end up betraying their own nature anyway. The last guy that stuck around in Fuchsia's living room for more than an hour was the one who dumped out an entire jar of Fuchsia's strawberry diesel marijuana, trapped a spider under it, carried it outside on a paper plate, and flung the spider into the bushes, just in time to hear the door click shut behind him. Both the spider and the jar eventually made their way back into the house. More than anything, you want to know what the honey tastes like. I should say that I've spent nights at Fuchsia's house as well, nights when the bees buzz softer for the courtesy of Fuchsia and their guests, nights where the two of us talk only a bit louder. There are times when they look regal in their reclining throne, directing squadrons of bees to pass them their eye drops and their medications and their butane lighter, blowing clouds of sweet smoke past the dim lamplight. And then there are times when it seems like the Afghan is swallowing them up. And those are the times I come over and hold them close, while they bury their chin in my chest and rest their forehead on my shoulder, and their shoulders heave, and the bees are still humming, low and shuddering. They won't say it out loud so that the hive can hear, so they write it down, the feeling of the weight of the ecosystem bearing down on them, the feeling of constantly brushing dark red leaves from their eyes and honey dripping down their cheeks. They're tired of being a tree. They want someone else to be one for a change. I wake up some mornings in their room, a bee strolling across my bare shoulders before hopping down to the mattress's edge and looking down, shifting in place like they've forgotten they have wings. I don't know exactly what Fuchsia sees in me, but when I hold them close, when I feel them breathing, I can almost see myself from under the dark red leaves shading their eyes. You've stopped asking, and now you're wringing your hands like you're dying for a cigarette, but I can tell. You still want to know what the honey tastes like. And if you'd been paying attention while I was talking, you might have the start of an idea. It's all of that and more. It's a rainbow under a rock. It's the chewy caramel center of the earth. It's a single spiderweb strand fortified over hundreds of years, humming in the dark like a lover's dream, soaking up all of the accumulated tendernesses of the universe like soft rain. It's the feeling that slices through your chest and spills you open, all the wounded and healing parts of yourself purple and glistening, that ache that makes you want to jump out into sheer space, chasing after the one thing you want and hoping that you'll remember your wings exist. And even if they don't, knowing that the taste of blood will mingle with the honey overflowing from your mouth and give you a secret to share with every living creature on this earth, if only you had enough breath in your body to tell it. And I'm finished.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Andrew.
All right.
Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let him know what it is.
One of us.
Oh,
right.
my goodness.
Welcome. Woo!
Oh,
Thank you.
my goodness.
One of us.
Thank you. Listen. That is how you show up and you show out for your first time. Amazing, amazing poem. So many quotables. Cat said, hoping one day you'll remember your wings exist. It's lines like that. You know, again, as a writer, I love finding new things and new ways to say new things. And those types of lines, I'm like, where was I at when that line was thought of? I wish I would have wrote something like that. Appreciate you. Welcome to our community. Make sure you put your information in the chat so our community can follow you and bug you and remind you that it's Monday night and you need to be here. Welcome to our crazy community. Incredible first poem. Thank you for that incredible energy. Truly, truly appreciate you. Whew. See, this is what I love about Monday nights, right? Like, the energy just starts flowing. Man, I truly, truly appreciate y'all, really. All right, coming up next is one of the newer members of our community. Clearly, they have gotten the bug and they are all in. I didn't see the baby this evening, but I'm sure they're somewhere close. Love the fact that it's a family affair. Love it. Listen, this poet came through and made themselves felt from the moment they showed up. Please unmute yourself, Madi. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is good to see you again. Looking forward to your incredible poetry. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. All right. So I actually wrote on theme, new shit. Okay. This is called My Lost Valedictorian Speech. This is probably why they don't give me awards. Y'all ready? Here we go. This year, I had to tell a lot of people, please don't mistake my smile for niceness. Sometimes I am offensive purposely, but always respectfully. You see, at one point in my life, I forgot my name and I lost my human form. I had transformed into an empty, reused pill bottle, shuffled from different pockets to nightstands. There I stood on display, burdened with layers upon layers of handwritten labels glued to my skin, like the stickers I studied on the walls of after-hour hole-in-the-wall bathroom stalls while trying to regain my balance from deliberate intoxication. I digress. My labels read angry, emotional, ashamed, lost, vulnerable, victim, lonely, broken. I was a walking billboard. And if you took the time to look close, my small print read, do not leave out in direct sunlight. If exposed too long to people's bullshit, may exhibit moments of irrational thinking, and her verbal outbursts may cause permanent brain damage to others. So beware, my words are weapons that I wield well. I suffered from untreated mental lordosis, hell-bent on trying to navigate the uneven concrete sidewalks of my life with my head held high in the clouds. I was destined for damage because I tripped and fell a lot. I'm warning you, I am not nice. I haven't been nice since I was in utero, cushioned from this cold world by amniotic fluid, which thankfully blurred my vision at birth because my recycled soul was gifted to a baby born in a Brooklyn gutter. Never swaddled by a loving mother, nature nurtured me. I had to learn how to walk by holding on to the devil's pinky finger. So you could imagine my trust issues. And my godmother was fate. She lovingly nicknamed me Little 80/20 because she knew the odds were not supposed to be in my favor. Please forgive my bluntness. You see, where I'm from, being nice made you a bleeding target for famished wolves and fresh meat for the butcher. Blocks of predators forced me to learn to be a hunter because I was tired of being preyed upon. And praying only took the edge off and helped a little. What a rat race that I ran well. My faith was displaced into extracurricular activities, which awarded me medals for first place in the category of heartache. My headaches were endless. I suffered from severe congestion, leading to perpetual mental infections as I was desperately trying to heal the spiritual abscesses left from untreated metaphysical trauma that caused wounds to fester until I almost became a victim of self-inflicted sepsis. It's a miracle I survived. A wise man once told me to always pronounce your S's and your T's. And that is some shit that I try to live by daily. Enunciate, enunciate, enunciate. Paint pictures with your words. This world is a canvas that needs our graffiti desperately. Illicit arts that helps elicit emotions of the soul. I wanted to share a great recipe that everyone should try for the new year. All you need is 2 middle fingers, and then you blend them in with a lot of fuck being nice spice. I humbly accept this award for the Naughty Poet of the Year. It's been real. Thank you. Respectfully yours, Mari.
Let's get it.
Amazing. Amazing.
Very good.
My goodness. Listen, this is what I come for, right? This is what I wake up on Mondays for, is for poems like that. Marty, oh my goodness. Thank you plugging into the theme. That was money. She said, my words are weapons, I will well. Woo! She said, I haven't been nice since I was in utero. Like, I don't know if I've ever heard a person say something like that. Oh, come on. Appreciate you, Marty, for bringing all your incredible energy and your incredible artistry to the space this evening. Thank you. Make sure you are giving them a follow, plug in with them. Listen, they are doing some incredible things and making some moves. Appreciate you, Marty. All right. Coming up next is the one and only. Listen, this brother, he is. I've been around this cat for a while, and every time that I come around this cat, he never fails to keep his rhymes in line with his divine senses, right? And so anytime you hear this cat that's coming up, prepare yourself. He is the one and only, the fireman. Fire for fireman, Mr. Poetastic himself, Eddie Foreman. Unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find you online. The floor is yours, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother from Elemen2al with words like thunder. Like no other. Woo! That's my brother. All right. My name is Ed Potastic, or feeling fantastic. Please get in time to John Ron, follow for Sublime. If you want to follow me, please look in the chat so you know where it's at. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit naughty. Okay, this is called Naughty Santa. It's cold and snowy outside. Why not stay in? Honey, please pass the cookies and wine. There's a pink and warm gift I need to attend. Sweetie, you can call me Santa. I'm full of holly jolly delights. Enough with the boring banter. Santa wants to ride your sleigh tonight. Let me unwrap your colorful wrapper. Santa needs to find his holiday surprise. Is it me or has it gotten damper? I see the bright bells dangling in your eyes. Sweetie, let me fill in the blanks inside your lovely and dripping stocking. Let's fill it with holiday cheer. Do you see the throbbing? Oh no, I'm not stopping. Is that shocking? Come and feel my North Pole, my dear. Wow, look at those big, perky, and jiggling ornaments. Mind if Santa could hold them? Believe me, you won't have any unsatisfied disappointment. They'll be the most nice, sparkling, and polished gems. Santa wants to kiss your pink mistletoe, baby. Let me burn your fire. Let me lick your candy cane while you glow. Let Santa check off your list of desires. Santa wants to go deep down in your chimney. He wants to give you a huge present. Have to your mind the nice scenery. Do you want some of Santa's luminescence to reach transcendence? Santa lust and desires keep glowing brighter than Rudolph's nose. In many times, in many ways, I'll give you a Merry Christmas to you, my rose. Don't worry, I'll shovel the moody black coal away. You're interested in Santa's Christmas tree? Please don't be afraid to decorate it. Santa's going to make you feel at ease and at peace. Santa's ready to pinch a nice holiday tent. Now it's time to send the tree home. It's now time to put extra wood in the fireplace. Oh, did I hear a sudden gasp or a loud moan? Now I see the red and green going across your face. You're shaking more than any bells. I hear you ringing in jolly good pleasure. Do you feel the Christmas spell? No displeasure for this burning leisure. Time for Santa to ride his holly jolly sleigh. Come on, my cute, sweet, and delightful reindeer. Time to rush in and crush the Grinchiness away. Run faster, 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 and faster, my dear. Let me spank your holiday hams to move more, more, and more. We need to warm the pale night away. Do you feel the scorching downpour? If so, let's play, play, and play. Santa needs to take a break for Christmas' sake. I feel myself going for a snooze. It's time to dream in the blanket lake. Time to pay overdues in the holiday blues. And thank you. Season's greetings.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Yo!
Poetastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Listen, Eddie never ceases to amaze. Whether he's digging in the chimneys or spanking holiday hams, there are no ho's safe around Eddie Foreman. We appreciate your energy, man, for always coming through and bringing that heat. Truly, truly. All right, coming up next is a mainstay of our community. I always appreciate this gentleman for staying up late and holding it down with his incredible pen. This gentleman is his story is incredible. He continues to come through and bless our community with his incredible artistry, the one and only lantern carrier. Unmute yourself, let the folks know where they can find you online and plug into your incredible artistry. Great to see you. The floor is yours.
Gracias, mi hermano. I've just put it into the chat. So I'll do the naughty list and I'll speak of my two loves, real life experiences in my boyhood days. I was blessed by the allure of love's desires before being sanctified by the holiness of its vision. I mean, school days, beautiful Chiquita, eyes twinkling with the synergy of stars and moons. She was ravishingly elegant, petite, and demure. I recall a quickening of pulse, an inner tremor in her presence, how my life force stalled with eyes mesmerized by the sweet rays of her charisma. She smiled with the majesty of Da Vinci's Mona, walked with the grace of swans and eagles. She glowed too, a real class of a princess who knew her worth even if too reticent to announce it boldly. Her name was constantly on my lips, by days on buses, at nights a bed of solace to cradle a passion that consumed me, of this royalty I knew at school, one that moved with the finesse of drifting snowflakes, walked with the poise of a Nubian goddess. And so I chased, by days in school, by nights in the reverie of twilight imaginings and passionate dreams. My delusions had taken hold, and I was filled with the frivolity of boyish charms, pushing me to unattainable heights. Had I ever felt like this before? Was this to be the reality of screenshots I saw of Anthony and Cleopatra, scrolls I read of the valiant Paris and the bewitching Helen of Troy, that magical face that launched 1,000 ships? Alas, my advances were parried by a wise and dauntless royalty, always retreating with gentleness and impunity. My next encounter with a princess was most surreal. She sang love songs to my heart and played arias in my soul. Her lute stirred a hunger in my being, the strands of a vocal sitar stabbing my core with sweet notes. I was absorbed in the red flames of a silhouette that spoke to the oxygen of my blood vessels, transformed the dynamics of my breath. We frequented the same room in private and dined in bikinis and shorts along smooth sandy beaches, coconut palms, and the delightful glow of aquamarine waters. One morning, post spending the night together, I leaned over and kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her soft rouged lips. Persuasion stabbed into emotions burning like a cauldron to fulfill the affinity of flames coursing through my being. My heart's noises throbbed 1,000 feelings, dying to communicate to an unruly mind the messages of love. Alas, although she acquiesced, merged with my energies of desire, I was short on courage that day as I walked out of her room sorrowfully, knowing that I would be on the next plane out. My soul traveled 4,000 miles, revisiting that memorable morn. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Oh, unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier.
That was just beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was phenomenal.
Poignant story.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this poet, he never misses. He never ceases to amaze. Listen, I don't know, I don't know how the way that he comes across with certain things, I guess that he was absorbed in the red flames of her silhouette. Like, come on, man. Like, that's whoo, that's heavy, man. Appreciate you, Lantern Carrier, for always keeping your pen sharp and sharing it with us. Listen, if you are not plugged in with Lantern Carrier, make sure you do. Give them a follow. Again, appreciate you for staying up late to hang out with us and share your energy, Lantern Carrier. Appreciate you, truly. All right, from one smooth brother to another, this next poet, as I've said, is just as smooth on the Zoomverse as he is in real life. Listen, this cat has been coming around for quite a while. One of our mainstays, and again, one of the coolest cats that I know, the one and only Samuel Rain, aka Complicated Passions. Unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find you online. The floor is yours, brother. Welcome back. Great to see you.
Good evening to everyone and happy holidays. You can find me here on Mondays at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. My website is darkmanblues.com. I'm on IG as dark_man_blues. Now, I wrote this particular piece to what I read. I had the opportunity to read Lantern's poem before he recited it last week. So here we go. Check it out. She was a flower in the desert. The moments I hungered, like when love calls for rain, the thought of her flamed my emotions. In the eyes of love, I found myself captured. I spoke her name only to have it echo all I had ever desired. The pleasures of her company were the dreams that made me to taste this reality, to be all I ever wanted to be. I thought, had I ever loved like this? The moments of a passionate kiss, surrendering to her lips, to think I'm about to have the naughty list. To taste her music, she moved in tones, strings, and bass. Her tempo became surrender, heartbeats and thunder. To feel her body talk was magic, undressed by persuasion. It was every moment I would give into. Surrender whispered my name from my dreams in the night to become her morning delight. That wine, that moon, that candlelight. I am complicated passions. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Complicated.
Fire. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, complicated passion. I see you.
Thank you.
All right, tell him, Marcia, tell him. Look, as I mentioned, that brother's smooth, man. For real, he does that. Man, he said he read Lantern's piece before he wrote his piece. Listen, when y'all get ready to bring that collab, whatever it is, whatever it's gonna be, I am looking forward to it. I don't know if the Zoomverse is ready for it or can handle it, but I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate you for coming through, Complicated. Your poems are always on point. Make sure you're giving that cat a follow, for real, like the one and only Stuart Scott used to say, cool as the other side of the pillow. Plug in with Dark Man Blues, for real. All right. Coming up next is a poet, that a writer, an incredible artist who does more things than I think their physical situation may hinder. They just find new ways to do so many things, like so many things. If you don't know this next poet, I would implore you all to plug into their work this evening. They are one of those types of people. You will definitely benefit from connecting with this incredible artist, the one and only Vale Larkin. Please unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Plug into the incredible things that you have going on and coming up. The floor is yours. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, Elemental. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to put my stuff in chat. Real quick, I'll plug my play, Words of the Prophets, which Elemental is a consultant on, is opening in April at the Cell Theater in Chelsea, Manhattan. And there is a link up there. Rather than donating to me, please do donate to the Artists Fund for our play, because while everyone will be paid, we'd like to pay them more. And there's a few upcoming features I've got up there. Thank you. So I forgot about the theme and I picked something else to read, but I decided to go on theme and read something old. So some people may have heard this before. Say or type, contact. Day 492 of the pandemic. Everyone on the internet who is my age assumes I am about 30 years old, except for those I have specifically contradicted. I am frequently addressed as though I am an especially precocious wunderkind. This is uncomfortable. Everyone else on the internet also assumes I am about 30 years old until corrected. This makes for some awkwardly age-inappropriate propositions from multiple age groups. I'm growing desperate. Did you know that the qualifications for high-quality poetry production are nearly identical to those of a particularly robust and evocative sexting participant? Everyone always says detailed descriptions, but what they really mean is 3 words each for fuck, pussy, cock, and cum. Mix them liberally, apply often, and just keep pumping until something erupts, right? God, what I would give for a big, strong poet with a fucking filthy mind, who is also into 5-foot-tall envies with fuchsia hair and weird pixie features. In unrelated news, did you know that complex, nuanced erotica is equally popular among femme, masc, and non-binary communities? Do you realize the sheer number of times someone has come with a Jane Austen quote in mind? Mr. Darcy might as well be one of the Winchester boys for how often he lands in fan fiction. I am growing desperate. Chat 1. He says, cock. I say, my trembling lower lip glistens as the tip of my tongue passes over it, my wide eyes staring up at you, hungry and waiting. He says, pussy. He says, fuck. I explain what I would like to do to the skin between his fingers with my tongue while I am kneeling before him, and immediately before I lift my eyes to meet him, as his hand ever so slightly tightens, tears welling up as he watches, he says, come, and leaves. Chat 2. He says, I reach for your gown in the twilight beneath the trees as our two peoples come together in the ancient rite of peace and bonding. I say, I meet your hands eagerly. The moment of truth upon us, our fates intertwined as the fire of our passion rises up into the night. I lose myself in your lips. He says, your body enraptures me, lust overtakes me. I must have you now ere I die of this bliss. I say, my hands caress your chest, lingering downward toward the straining length rising to meet them. He says, fuck. He says, amazing. He leaves. Chat 3. He says, pussy. I say, the power structures inherent in Western binary cis-heteronormative mating rituals are the result of repression of the id by societal mores, leading to fetishization of taboo practices and a pseudo-dissociative drive for publicly strong individuals to enjoy being dominated in sexual roleplay, and oftentimes vice versa. He says, come, and leaves. Chat 4. He says, what is the nature of your problem? I say, the pursuit of intimacy is inherently flawed in a capitalist society that virtually requires its components to function with artificial emotional autonomy in order to maintain workforce productivity by eliminating support structures that ameliorate the psychic damage perpetuated by exploitative systems of economic hierarchy. He says, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I say, no one has ever made me come who I did not care about. Lust is inherently melded to empathy in me. My kink is your pleasure. My climax, your release. If I do not care how you feel, you cannot make me feel anything. He says, I'm sorry, please select from the following options. I say, will you fuck me while I cry? He says, say your type, accounts. Say your type, technical support. He says, say your type, contact. It is day 493 of the pandemic. I am growing desperate.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Vale Larkin.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Hell.
Love you, though.
You know,
Andrew, by the way, is my boyfriend. And this koala is
shout out
from him.
Andrew in the building. Okay, that changes everything. Man, that kind of changes everything. Appreciate you for coming through, Vale. Listen, this is why people don't necessarily like dealing with writers and creative beings, because as you mentioned, they say something very simple and we take it into outer space with it. And I love that, right? This is kind of what we're charged to do, right? Take the simple and make it into a Rubik's Cube. And I love the fact that you do that every single time. I appreciate you. Make sure you're plugging into Vale Larkin and all they do. They are incredible. Shout out, Andrew. Make sure you give them a follow. Thank you, Vale, for bringing a new member to our community. We do appreciate you. All right, real quick. Some folks came in late, so let's address a couple of things. Again, we do this every Monday, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. If you would like to join us on the Zoom, it is 279-995-364. Also, make sure you're plugging into the usual host, advocate of words with a Z, you know, poetic license. Make sure you're giving that dude a follow and sending him positive energy. We hope you are well, brother. Again, the sign up for tonight is closed. The sign up starts 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to go to sign up, you go to newyourekan.org. You click on the full events calendar. You click on the Monday night that you want to perform on. You will need an artist RSVP ticket. They will only populate 24 hours before the open mic, but you need an artist RSVP ticket to get on the guaranteed list. All right. Also, if you're in the area, coming up Wednesday night, there is the Slam hosted by La Bruja. You see her, she's an Emmy winner. Shout out the executive director. She's doing a whole lot of things. Make sure you're plugging in with La Bruja as well. The anthology is still in the works. I mentioned the person who was working on that. We will definitely hear from them soon. Shout out Jasmine. Just plug their camera on. Appreciate you. We'll definitely hear from Jasmine later on. Also, the Let's Write a Book of Poems series hosted by our usual host, advocate of words. All right, let's get back to it. Shout out a couple folks who came through this evening who are not on the list. Marsha Rivera, always coming through. Appreciate you for always bringing your energy. Truly, Storm God's in the building. Paul Conqueso, of course, the resident Honey Trap, the host of the karaoke after party that happens after hybrid. I know it's coming back, so just be aware. Melinda Lucas, always coming through to share their energy. I truly appreciate you. I see Atlas Collective has joined the energy this evening. Appreciate you for coming through and all the energy that you have brought this evening. And Catman Bill, I see you. Catnip in the building. All right. Coming up next, listen, this cat has come through our community and has definitely made sure that his energy is felt with every single piece. This dude, listen, he's the poet's poet, man. Like he is lately now, you know, people used to say this about me, but every time you unmute, you hear somebody screaming like, yeah, that's usually this guy right here. All right. Because he knows what it's about to bring the type of energy that we need to keep this thing rolling. I truly, truly appreciate this poet, the one and only Magus Gustav Solace. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know why you are Gustav with the gusto, and the floor is yours. Welcome back, man.
Thank you very much, Elemental. I'm happy to be here. This is my naughty list. When I get mad and I get pissed, I sit down and write a naughty list. Vladimir Putin tops this list. If he dies, he won't be missed. I stand for a free Ukraine. Put a slug in Vlad's brain. Donald Trump used to be on top. Now his impotent whining just won't stop. Send him to jail and don't pass go. Thank God he no longer runs the show. Mike Flynn, Steve Bannon, and Roger Stone tried to put Donald on a throne. They are on my list most surely. Lock them up most securely. What they need is handcuffs. Of QAnon sense, I've had enough. They've made my naughty list that I write down when I get pissed. So Santa, skip these evil fuckers and please make people not be such suckers. Okay, this next piece is called L'absurdité franglais, une amuse-gueule. Plutôt, je dirais, fous le camp dans le marais, l'emmerdeur, tu me fais chier, va te faire foutre avec ton plié. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Je te connais quand même pas. Ferme ta gueule, espèce de con. Je n'aime pas du tout le ton, mais changez donc le poisson. Je t'adore de toute façon. Non paré dans l'espace, tout perdu, ma sagesse. Fais gaffe à toi avec la classe. Bien sûr, personne ne prend ta place. Mange maintenant le foie gras, excité dans mes bras. Dans mon cœur, tu vivras pour toujours, tout juste comme ça. Ça plaint pour moi, ça plaint pour moi, ça plaint pour moi, moi, ça plaint pour moi. And I have translated this poem into English. And here it goes. Often I would say, get the hell out of the marais. You shit, you piss me off. Go fuck yourself with your guff. Would you like to sleep with me? I don't know you. Let me be. Shut the fuck up, you fucking fool. Your tone is not too cool. Fish or cut bait today. I love you anyway. Unrivaled in this space. All is lost in my face. Be careful now with that bass. No one ever can take your place. Are you immune to my charms or excited in my arms? In my heart you live on forever and ever, never gone. It once was dark, but now it's the dawn, 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 dawn. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gusto.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Gusto. Always bringing it.
Gusto got all the gusto. Like, come on, Gusto. I mentioned, listen, I mentioned our community is incredible. This dude just flipped his whole tongue. Gosh. And listen, I'm sure he made all of the people that helped him learn French very proud. Gosh, that was amazing, Gusto. Make sure you're giving Gusto a follow. That dude there just flipped it in French. They just flipped it in French. Like, oh man, I love that energy, Gusto. Truly, truly appreciate you. Make sure you're giving Gusto a follow. That dude is plugged into our community. Truly, truly appreciate you, Gusto. All right, coming up next. I believe last week was their first time on Monday, but they mentioned they ripped on Thursday before. So I am glad that they have returned. And listen, I believe, as with most folks do, it usually only takes one, man. But like Lay's, you can't just have one. So we are thankful that you have returned. Daniel, unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Again, welcome back to Monday Night. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Hello, I appreciate being here. Yeah, this is the second time that I'm here. And I actually don't have anything that goes for the naughty list because I'm still going through the books, but I am stuck actually between like a story. The only thing is it's like a 6-minute read. So if I can't do the story, I could also have 2 other poems that are a little shorter that could be 4 minutes. So I just don't know which, or it don't matter.
Hey, it's really up to you. Whichever one speaks to your spirit and you want to share this evening, we are here for it. You have the time.
I appreciate it. I'm actually going to do the story because I'm actually trying to get things actually published. So we can actually, let me just jump into it. So this story is actually called Coming of Age, which is about an older man reflecting on his life, trying to find peace on how old he is and through everything he's been through. Coming of age. Coming of age is such a way to engross the mind. Think about life in general, but swallow the pride. I can't help but face choices that can't divide. Living and dying, forgetting they coincide. Enervated and in my dotage, I swam through the river because there was no bridge. I didn't want to drown because there are reasons to live. Upset those that hate, but respect who forgive. In a desolate home with time and patience, love comes to visit with karma as surveillance. And my bed stretched out with my thoughts voracious. Angry then calm, the mood doesn't adjust. The walls drip pain of memory as it peels off. Me running as a child, impetuous down the hall. Although we rented, the dream was bought. Life was good, but passed faster than a cough. Back then I was free, the road was my runway. I flew, fell, laughed, and drove. The details are in a haze. I was married, which became more than just a phrase. Took a tab of acid that became more than just a phase. My early teen life wasn't too bad, except the wrongs, although there was always a catch. In the shadows, but more visible than a flag. Respect what was taught on my father's behalf. A bit overweight and mentally suffering. Always been depressed, even over the dumbest things. Had trust issues and ignored the world. Wasn't held down by a partner which brought concern. Love came and went like a breeze. Thoughts doubled in size to some degree. Hope was shipped, but pessimism was received. Money always vanished, which explains the greed. Tried it all, the effort was shown to preserve. Never taken into consideration that I couldn't push further. On the couch now, as lazy as a sloth. without pain as his agony was pawned. Sunlight cracks through the window and blinds. Life is strange but extraordinary by design. The early 20s approached without warning. Bills materialized and my circle was shortening. Work intensifies, which behooves a priority. Didn't go out. Drudgery became compulsory. Vicenarian. Bills multiply and become intricate. The US dollar drops and inflation proliferates. Barely make enough for rent as it is. Reality kicks my ego and money suffocates it. My credit went down faster than a bear market. Lost everything I worked for, to be honest. Attempted to thrive by an idea. If you don't give up, the dream can't corrupt. My early 30s, I met someone finally. Grew some courage, but money was evaporating. Got my brain in a fog like Beijing. She loves from within, and that's before the ring. Her heart was pure, like those who volunteer. Hair straighter than a pole that glimmer when near. Always thought twice, but spoke once to be clear. Loved even at your lowest, which is completely sincere. Time moved on and intentions were shown. A family was hinted, but the convo was never thrown. Had a hunch whenever we were alone. Did my best whenever she went prone. God disapproved because the process was always pending. The steps redundant, later suspended. 35, shit changes a bit. The shift was obvious. I'm no longer a kid. Time went on, as it did. Wanted a spiritual retreat. It became a wish. Wasn't married yet, although there were 5 years of commitment. Loved her with my soul, but didn't want that argument. When finances are settled, I'll see if she accepts. But at the moment, I can't drop a boatload on that event. She understood the situation, but I can promise I'll give her everything, but sadly not kids. According to the doctor, I'm unfit. The age isn't the problem, my sperm count is. At 37, things come around and I'm all caught up. Life has accepted the effort and said enough. Bought a tab of acid and gave it a go. Did my research before entering the unknown. An experience for the books, a limitless substance like a city in flux. Done it several times throughout the years. Also been in hell, which brought me to tears. 10 hours of madness that just doesn't disappear. Set and setting is everything unless you want to be consumed by fear. 40 creeped past, the atmosphere was dull. A bit optimistic with the glass half full. Thoughts clogged up the mind like flushing a condom. Then vomit a random emotion like a denied refund. 42, I've accepted the age, time to wed. We said I do and then we connect. Went well for the most part going forward. Had our moments like a struggling composer. Stayed strong. She stayed strong. I respected that. Expected a bent knee a couple years back. Lived together since practically the first half. 2 years with distance, then my place became our flat. In the 50s, the days drag a bit. Talk more, move less, regardless of what it inflicts. The saving a good portion, the secret is to persist. The world has changed and my body refuses to notice. Mid-60s and proceed with work. Let loose a bit because the labor began to hurt. Energy dies down, the speed diminishes. Listen, then speak like I'm no longer interested. In my 70s, I bought my childhood home. Love the area, plus I've been there for too long. My wife has passed away. Cancer is a bitch. Didn't hit rock bottom, but emotionally I did. Hospitals claim to do all that they can. If that was the case, I would have detected it beforehand. All caught up, my life from the start. Currently 84 and without a heart. I miss my wife, present at a halt. Acid taught me to accept life and peace will embark. I'm not who I was before. Personality shift like the coastal shores. I'm no longer depressed and stressing. Money has been saved as if I'll be married. No kids, sadly, but we tried. Life always refuses the plans you keep in mind. Things happen, the world spins as normal. Not a fan of the events that left me in a hole. My younger self probably wouldn't have the guts to face it. Take any chance I could in order to quit. Yet I'm here, optimistic and pushing. Sit back, wait, or pour in a drink. Watch a movie or two, retire with the herb. Being alone does make me perturbed. The change from then and now made me demented. Somehow crawled through the issues life tested. With the war in my head, I assumed the direction. Of course, plans never turn out how we expect them. Although every decision was with a positive intention, life shot me with hatred as if the devil's present. Finally, coming of age, it's time to settle down. Tired of searching for faith like a bloodhound. Just relax and reflect on the sounds. Close my eyes instead of fearing how. Peace is formed from within, and once that's found, I've come to realize tranquility is profound. And that's my story. Thank you.
Yourself, give it up for Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel, incredible, righteous. Acid taught me a lot too.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. This is, first of all, Daniel, Thank you for sharing that story with us. And that, I believe, is a great example of staying in the stream of consciousness, right? That cat kept the rhyme all the way through. Did you catch that? That he kept the rhyme scheme throughout the entire story, but he told a story of a timeline, right? How many times have any of you heard, it's not about the day or the year that you're born or the year that it ends, it's the dash in the middle. And what he did was he laid that out there in such an incredible story and made it poetic, right? Our lives are not always poetic, right? There are things that are dirty and horrible, and trash happens and it stinks, right? But what you did in that story, and you kept the rhythm involved in the entire piece, that is incredible writing. Thank you for sharing that with us, Daniel, a new mainstay member of our community. Make sure you do continue to work on that piece and work on getting it published. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us and your incredible energy. We truly, truly appreciate that. And in case no one has told you, you are one of us and you completely up, because now you got to find yourself here every Monday, just like you have been. Appreciate you, man. Truly, truly. Whew, I'm telling you, listen, if you are not a member of this community yet, you are truly missing out on the connections that could change your poetic life. Truly. And I'm speaking from experience. Some of these poets in our community are much more than poets. Okay, much more than poets. We met a few of them this evening, so make sure you're plugging in. All right, coming up next. Listen, as I mentioned last week, this poet is more than just a poet. They are an activist. They are a pillar. They are a civil rights matriarch in our world. They are plugged into so many different things on both coasts. Fought in my city, now lives in Jersey, holding it down for them, for everything that people fight for. Listen, this is one of the only poets I know that came through and mentioned all of the Kwanzaa principles. Shout out to the one and only from Newark, New Jersey, Tracy, to Mom, Tracy Moncour. We truly, truly appreciate your energy. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online and how we can all plug in to your incredible artistry, how we can learn even more from you. Please, welcome. The floor is yours.
Ah, thank you, thank you. You're so good to me, Elemen2al. You come from Sanford, the Bay Area, too. All right. They say you can take the girl out of California, but you can't get California out of the girl, you know. But I'm Newark, New Jersey. I'm Newark, Newark, Newark. I thought about the theme for this evening, but decided to pull out a poem that I just want to try it out and see how it's received. It's entitled Life Unbroken. The yin and the yang, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The universe in search of balance and harmony girds infinity. The rotation of the moons, the stars, the planets march in precision to the beat of continuance. The changing of the seasons mirrors the completion of Mother Earth's journey around the sun, at a place in space only to begin again. Day follows night, the light blending into multiple shades of red, orange brilliance, coloring the atmosphere, declaring the arrival of the light of a new day. The yin and the yang, the same, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Heaven and earth give birth to males, females, spinning in the circle of procreation. The newborn, the epitome of innocence, waits on the hand of fate. The flow of chance for many produces circumstance which marks those whose lives are destined to be filled with sickness and pain, yet in time a remnant finds the strength to supersede impediments and reconnect with the healing power from the source. Health and sickness intertwined embrace the absolute. The yin and the yang, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Wealth shines in eye-catching bliss in the midst of starvation. Scores of toddlers toddle through squalor, absorbing their surroundings. Deprivation pursues dreams of opulence, speeding in posh cars from the clutches of poverty. Hunger screams, passing around baskets of need, capturing the hearts of the empathetic. Feast, famine, feast, famine. Dust from droughts covers a multitude of good intentions. The cycle of wealth and poverty, once again rooted in repetition. The yin and the yang, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The breath of life expands human existence, shaped by immeasurable experience, battling the internal forces of good and evil. The adolescent breaks away to establish the I in who am I? Choices are made. Young adults enlightened in their brilliance pursue their purpose as others fall into abyss of generational darkness. A little light in darkness and a little darkness in light give rise to man's perpetual inner struggle in each recurring cycle, love or hate. The yin and the yang, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The middle-aged in their dominance count trophies of accomplishments. Families and friends silently cheer from the atmosphere, even as others submit to adversity, moving down into the depths of blame and shame. Seniors play the waiting game as the body succumbs to aches and pain. Intergalactic declarations call for termination. The dead are released back into eternity. The cycle captures the heart. Once again, the journey starts. The cycle of life remains unbroken. The yin and the yang, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And that's my contribution.
Goodness, unmute yourself. Give it up.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Right.
Yes.
Listen, this is why I love Monday nights. This is why I love Monday nights. Because we get a chance to hear. Thank you, Tracy, for coming through with all of that just true Gaia energy, you know, and you remind us of some very, very simplistic but very motivating things, right? That things are rooted in repetition, right? And really the end is only just to begin again. And the way that you put those things together and remind us of those things and how very important they are is what helps our community stay as strong as it is and moving forward in the speed that it is. Thank you so much for bringing your incredible artistry, for bringing the words that we need to hear. Thank you for that. Make sure you're plugging in to everything that this incredible artist does. And you'll learn quite a few things, especially when you look up her great husband, may he rest in peace, incredible jazz musician, plugged into so many different ways. Thank you, Tracy, for coming and being a part of our community. We truly appreciate you. All right, we are coming down to our last few poets, but right now, make sure you see how the space is moving behind me. Make sure you are strapped in very tight because we are headed to another dimension. the one and only Jedi Master who has more claim to this thing than I definitely do, a member of the original New Eurekan anthology, the one and only Jedi Master Skiff. Please unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. The floor is yours.
Hey, hi, everybody. Thanks, Elemental. Great to see everybody here. Hope you're having a good holiday stint. I'm just on the IG at Skiffgram, and there's paulskiff.com. I'm just going to do two short things. I didn't originally plan to contribute, but I'm always happy to step in. This first one's a short thing. It's kind of about how we're all always caught up in being naughty. I tried to get accommodated by polite society once. Being required to say thank you for permission to be myself made me feel awkward. In polite society, everyone is like a rectified 3-year-old. Once you understand how to tie your own shoes, use a napkin, and master the phrase, "May I?" you have made internal control an object of mistake fearing and dependent on someone else's approval. Polite society is a hypocrite sanctuary, of course, where etiquette and manners are a smokescreen of dignity. Most people in polite society take advantage of this smokescreen. In fact, they feel grateful for the cover, but it is where all children go to continue to play house in perpetuity and in secret. In polite society, it is the spankings they crave. And the second piece is just a kind of silly thing. But I guess, somebody like me should be allowed to be silly once in a while. You better not smoke. You better not get drunk. You better not do bath salts, fentanyl, or any of that other junk. You better not embezzle. You better not mug. You better not credit card fraud or Bitcoin Ponzi scheme and try to sweep it under the rug. You better not act racist. You better not speak homophobic. You better not act sexist. You better not mansplain. So zip that rhetorical dick back into your mouth's pants. You better not, while on the bus, touch yourself down there. You better not, with a straight razor, shave your pubic hair. You better not put on the opposite gender's underwear. You better not promote a drag queen story hour scare. You better not flash mob the bedroom of the person who's doing your ex. You better not put super glue on the private toilet seat of your boss. You better not, without them knowing, poke a hole in the condom. You better not fill a paper bag with dog dew, put it in front of your neighbor's door, light the bag on fire, knock on the door, and run away to watch them stomp it out. You better not skip the tip. You better not throw out the parking ticket. You better not take a $10 bill out of your mother's purse. You better not fantasize about your sex partner's best friend. You better not throw your burger wrapper on the ground and make pollution worse. You better not leave those 2 drips on the toilet seat. You better not hop the turnstile even if it's broken. You better not smoke that joint on the back of the bus. Our stop's only 2 minutes away anyway. You better not. You better not. You better not, because Santa is just pretend and is not going to show up on Christmas to forgive you.
Unmute yourself, give it up for the
Oh.
Jedi Master.
Yeah, Paul.
Amazing. That was amazing.
One of us, one of us.
Tell him, bro, for real. Oh my goodness. Listen, this is why there are no Sith on our planet, because there is an incredible Jedi Master named Skiff who continues to do things like that. Like, did you hear that cat singing? Did you hear them? Listen, I told you, the cat never misses, right? His lightsaber always seems to stay charged. Even when we call on him in the last moment, he is ready to whip it out and slay any monster that is in his vicinity. Thank you, Paul Skiff, the one and only. Listen, that dude, make sure you're plugging into that cat. He's incredible. He's incredible, like I said. And let him tell you some stories. Listen, that cat is, again, he has more claim to fame than I do. And as the usual host says, the same thing, all right? This cat, he knew the founders, right? Clearly still knows them. Plug into Paul Skiff, right? He will give you a history lesson that you can't pay for. I love this community. Gosh, I love y'all so much, man. Really, y'all make this just the night of the week. Really, I truly appreciate you. All right, again, we are rounding the plate. There are a few more poets that are coming through. Listen, these next few poets, if you're not familiar with the community and the Monday Night Online open mic, these next few poets will definitely show you what it's really about. Coming up next is a member of our community that our usual host likes to say is the general of our community, and we will follow him into battle. Even though that was a joke, he really doesn't know how very close he is to this next poet, a true leader of men, and a national treasure at that, the one and only Mr. Speaker. It has been too long since we heard from you, brother. I'm not gonna ask where you've been doing. I'm just gonna say there's no excuse for you missing Monday nights. We miss your energy. It is good to see you, brother. Let the folks know where they can find you online. The floor is yours. Let them have it.
Yeah, let's go. I've been away a minute, but let's go. My naughty list, me and poetry. Me and poetry. See, I made love with poetry last night, and we produced poems, haikus, cinquains, and limericks to the daylight. Felt so good as poetry held me tight until every line was just right. Then poetry whispered, Mr. Speaker, don't put me on a time clock because you know there is no such thing as writer's block. So I blocked and tackled that task, wrote until I mentally crashed. See, poetry undressed me verbally, pulled me in physically, so I gave poetry my words individually. Poetry and I have had relations 2 or 3 times daily. We be creating. Poetry has me feeling emotions, hopes, and even aspirations. So I keep producing every time I get that verbal vibration. Together, we have moved nations, educated generations, informed poetic congregations during these collaborations. And we end up having a poetic celebration. With poetry, my thoughts are foreplay. Putting ink into paper is getting laid. Typing in a computer or phone, well, baby, that's an upgrade. Then I meet poetry on stage at an open mic to relax. Me and poetry and that mic equals a climax. See, I slept with poetry all night. Let me be clear. Poetry is in my naughty list because I know poetry takes other lovers like Elemen2al, Complicated Passion, Skiff, Finn Bell, and James spoken word throughout the years or when I'm not near. But that's all right. So ask me and I will give you some insight because baby, I'm sleeping with poetry again tonight. In peace.
Yourself, give it up for Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
All right now, fire.
Listen, this is.
I'm calling the
something else
police.
I love about this community. Something else I love about this community, right? You can stay away for a minute, but then you come back and you show up and you show out. Appreciate you, Mr. Speaker, for coming through. Listen, you are right. It is a poetic congregation that we have right here, right? And we miss the energy that you always bring, right? I love that line again. As I mentioned earlier, I hate missing out on great ideas. As the daughter of Krypton mentioned in the chat, right? Putting ink to paper is getting laid. He said, me, poetry, and the mic, that's a climax. Like, come on, people. Like, when you plug into that energy, that real source, man, all you got to do is show up, baby. Appreciate you, Mr. Speaker, for coming through with all that energy, man. Appreciate you, truly. Listen, these last few cats are really just coming up, you know what I mean? Short notice, cat. But again, it goes to show you how dedicated this community is to doing what we do, right? You're always ready and on point to share our energy with this community. Mr. Speaker, I truly appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging into that cat, giving them a follow. All right, coming up next, I just mentioned this poet. There's only a few of these folks in the world. I like to call them the daughter of Krypton. They have so many things going on, so many different aspects and spaces in the Twitterverse, in the Zoomverse. Listen, make sure you are plugging into the incredible one and only Finn Bell. Let the folks know where they can find you online, how to plug into the menagerie of things that you have going on with Fincabulary. Please bless us with your poem. The floor is yours.
Much Elemental. Good evening, family. You could find me on Instagram, Finn_Bell. I was thinking about the ghostly gum trees. I was thinking aloud in conversation with a friend the other day about wearing my heart on the hidden torn part of my sleeve and about bad behavior, bad form, like Captain Hook used to say to Pan when the Pan child was naughty. Naughty. Do you know that's how I felt for a very long time? A grown woman who is supposed to know the hows and whats of keeping a tidy house, keeping my tongue in my mouth, knowing the exact proper ratio of skirt length in relation to my knee, of dipping neckline to neck. 3 inches above the knee is a special brand of saucy. 6 inches, and I should go back home and put on more clothes, according to a helpful coworker who ogled my stocking unclad limbs with a wide grin. Reproach and misogyny homogenized to a froth barely perceptible, barbed well within his mind, making his lust acceptable. A tender baby motto. My breasts are friends, do you know? Allies and instigators. I boost them way up, point them just right, and they qualm the argument before it begins by perks, coquette their way to favor. I did not know then what I know about myself now as a warrior woman. I didn't realize my own body was mine to keep or share on my own terms, cradle of my power, queenly seat of my femininity. Who was it who spread the first lie about Eve and original sin, called it punishment for the perfection inside our female form? Kindly send them over this way. I have a few choice words. When did our divinity become shame to divvy and barter? I place myself on every altar now and every land before me, and in my lotus-robed dryad past, every fear that crossed male faces when we unlocked our legs and revealed the core of our sacred energy. It was too much. Too much, we became too much, too ripe, too ready, too red-lipped, too ugly, too fat, and then not enough. Not worthwhile, not anything to call home about, until we became absolutely nothing at all. Thank you.
Goodness, unmute yourself. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Yeah, Finn.
Warrior woman.
Oh,
merveilleux.
Listen,
Merci beaucoup.
listen. Like I said, there's only one that I know of, and that is the daughter of Krypton. Make sure you are plugging in with her, giving her a follow. Listen, said, when did our divinity become shame? When did our divinity become shame? When did the beauty, the essence, become a bad thing? Right? She also said they're friends, they're allies and instigators. Listen, again, everyone, and this is my Christmas present to all of you. If you don't know, here is now letting you know. Each and every one of you, whether you have a tree, whether you're celebrating Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or none of the above, this is my gift to you this evening. You are all like Oprah, right? You get one, you get one, you get one. Everyone in this building right now, shout out to the folks watching on YouTube, shout out Poet Talk, shout out the Garage Poets. You all have now poetic license. If no one else has ever told you this, this is your gift at the end of the year from me to you. You now have poetic license to write and flip and revise any topic that you get, any theme that you will hear from us this year, next year, the years to come. You now have poetic license. Listen, there's only one cat that I know, UCP, shout out UCP. He actually has a physical license. If that's what you need, please, I implore you to do it. Make your own physical poetic license. So when people ask you, hey, what do you do? Smack it on the table like you're playing spades. I'm a poet. This is my poetic license. I can say what I want, right? Please understand you all have now poetic license to do what you do as a poet. I truly appreciate you, Finn, for coming through and doing the things that you do. Listen, he said making his lust acceptable, but you make being phenomenal acceptable in our community, and I truly, truly appreciate you. All right, coming down to the last few poets. Listen, this next poet, the usual host likes to say is a true badass, right? Listen, this poet does not just conjure words against the machine, right? They conjure the energy that is necessary to not only go against it, but dismantle it, right? This is a poet that speaks revolution in the best of ways. And I love when this poet gets a chance to rip. So of course, I would do my best to make sure to leave the mic open for the one and only Jane Spoken Word. Please let the folks know where they can find you online. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Peace, y'all. Happy New Year to you all. And you know me, you can find me IG, Jane Spoken Word, janespokenword.com. This piece is called Pain and Pleasure. I am the bonfire from hell. I spit flames from a burnt out shell. Danger, danger from first degree burns, words in motion at the point of no return. Scorch this poet's pen in flames, arguing with minds that play blame games. Incinerated syllables ash the truth. My talk has eyes that see through you. This poet's tongue is not for sale. I do not ride the sacrificial trail, sharing pain and pleasure with the inside invader, where shadowed monsters lurk within, slithering underneath my skin, drain my soul, deny my totem pole, wagging at my finger at my capacity for self-destruction, threatening my future's earthly construction, straddling that third rail, drinking arsenic cocktails. I watch the candle drip through a clear and steady flame, perpetually torched by the waiting game, torching my soul on the embers of charcoal, waxing my madness, whitewashing my canvas, denying the never ever, the trickster ever clever, confusing my control with a complicated flow. Was that the red pill or purple Osley's will? Come out, wherever you are. Contemplating the dark side's endless journey, waging hunger games with brutal adversity. In a fucking hell where the devil lies laughing, his ravenous fire perpetually crackling. Misery charges the air. His ecstasy is my nightmare, caging me in, begging for freedom, fighting for life in this, my immortal light. Peace, yo. Happy New Year, poets.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Jay's spoken word.
Yeah.
Peace,
She's a
yo.
star. She's a rock star.
Jane.
Tell her, Mr. Speaker. Tell him. Listen. It's the true Low East Sider in the building, always coming to bring the heat and the words against the machine. Let me tell you, I tried to warn y'all about these incredible poets that are members of this community. This is just another example. I warned y'all. I really did. And I said these next few poets are going to really show you what it's really about to be in this community and what it's really about to share this crazy, incredible energy that we have and we share with each other. Listen, if you don't know James Spoken Word, if you don't know I'll Be on Bass, do yourself a favor and plug into them. Really. I mean, you will find some things that will connect to the cafe that will probably surprise you. It probably will. Thank you, Jane, for coming through and sharing your incredible artistry and energy with us. You really make this thing cook. I mean, seriously, you really, really do. Thank you, Jane. Make sure you are plugging into Jane's Spoken Word, a mainstay of our community, and just a badass overall poet, for real. All right, we are coming to the end. Shout out a couple more folks. Terry Rose Jertson in the building. Appreciate you for coming through, Terry. DG Cleary. Man, always good to see DG in the building, right? Make sure you are plugging in with Terry. Make sure you're getting her book. Listen, DG has got so many things going on. Listen, speaking of a lot of things going on, we are bringing up our last poet of the evening. She is going to close us out for the evening. I mentioned them earlier. They are the program's assistant. And listen, the work that they are doing is something that I know generations are going to appreciate. Generations. Just like we're still learning from the original New Eurekan anthology, generations after us are going to be looking at this anthology that you are working on. And it is because of you and your dedication and being a member of this community and this energy that's going to help these things come into our reality. The one and only Jasmine. Make sure you are giving them a follow. Please unmute yourself. Let the folks know what you have going on, where they can find you, and the floor is yours. Welcome.
Hello, my darlings. Happy to be here, like always. I'm on Instagram, writer Jasmine G. And here's my poem. Anxiety is a dysfunctional musical ensemble. My sense of control is the conductor. My melodic chorus of I'm fine, accompanied with a winning smile to stop your worried questions. Every 5 minutes, I touch each finger to my thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Following a familiar rhythm, I cannot change pace. I notice the sound of my breathing, making me cower from human contact. My heartbeat must sound out of tune. My mind races in conversations. There's a cacophony of secret warnings under every phrase I utter. My speech must sound off-pitch. Uncertainty crosses your face. Time to smile again. Is my jaw too tightly clenched? Is my foot tapping too loud? Is my forehead dripping with sweat? Did my heart skip a beat? Eventually, I will release. Music will slow. The control illusion will shatter. End of poem. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Jasmine.
Jasmine. Yeah.
One of us. One of us.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jasmine, for coming through. I know it was short notice, but listen, you came through and you closed it out in beautiful, poetic fashion. Truly, truly appreciate you for being one of us and a valued member of our community. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, folks, listen, I'm gonna let you off the hook a little early this evening, but keep in mind, right? This space has, as I mentioned in the intro, we've been doing this for 143 weeks, folks. 143 weeks. And I'm looking forward to 143 more. But it's because of everyone in here, every one of you watching on the social media stream, every one of you in the Zoomverse this evening. I personally want to thank you for rocking with us all year, right? As I mentioned, this is the last Monday night online open mic of the year, right? Shout out to the super producer. He asked me not to do it, but I'm gonna do it because we all need to hear him this evening on this last Monday night open mic of the year. So please, one time, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, let the people know where they can find you online.
Thank you so much, Elemen2al, and thank you again, obviously, for helping out guest hosting when our regular host is not available. We really appreciate you, stepping in. You may find me at Ron Mark Thompson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or my organization Bronx Art and Fun Up at BXAFH. I also will be helping a small hybrid open mic tomorrow in the Bronx, which is called the Art in the Basin, AITB hybrid open mic. I just put the Eventbrite link in the chat. That one, some of you have participated there previously. I featured there also previously. It's tomorrow evening, Tuesday at 7 p.m. If you can make it, come on out there. I also want to repeat again what Elemen2al already promoted. We are not yet done at the New Eureka Poets Cafe for 2022. Tonight was the last Monday night online open mic of this year. As Elemen2al already mentioned, on Wednesday, as Advocate of Words is away this week as he was last week, so La Brua will be guest hosting the Wednesday night poetry slam at the cafe, but you can also watch via Zoom. Tickets click on full events calendar and you can get on. Also, don't forget on Thursday, Ray Chain will be back with her Thursday night online open mic. That'll be the her last one of this calendar year, and then the very last program of this calendar year will be Friday, the Friday night poetry slam with Jive Poetic. That's in person at the cafe. And then next week on Monday, January 2nd, we are back with the first program of 2023, which will be Monday night online open mic. Watch watch out. It will either be Advocate of Words, or if he is still not available, then Elemental, of course, will step into guest host again. I will be happy, to help out on the producing side. Thank you to Nico Diaz, special assistant to La Brua, for helping us out with the Zoom and the live stream at the beginning. And before I hand it back to Elemental, I want everyone to unmute themselves, because trust me, it is not easy. I mean, to host, to guest host, to step in. Elemental and I know and appreciate what Advocate of Words does each and every week, because there is so much things to do that, you may not be aware of. I mean, Elemental and I were preparing all day. Elemental was gathering everything, the list, making sure that we have the theme. Also, remember next week's theme, science fiction, which Elemental taught me. It's National Science Fiction Day next week. Correct me if I'm wrong, Elemental. But everyone, please unmute yourself and give a big round of applause for our guest host, Elemental.
Elemental!
Right, great job, great job.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Thank you all. So, Elemental, I'm going to give it back to you. Thank you again, everyone. Please stick with the New Rican Poets Cafe. We will continue wonderful, great online and in-person programs for next calendar year. Elemental, back to you.
Thank you, Ron. Shout out RMT, the one and only super producer in the Zoomverse. Make sure you are giving him a follow and plug into his organization, Bronx Art and Fun Hub. Listen, that cat, if you don't know what a fractal poetry is, talk to Ron. He could probably enlighten you on a few different things. Listen, as Ron mentioned, first of all, thank you to this wonderful community. I truly, truly appreciate you. The only reason that I can do this and give you this energy is because you give it to me. So I'm only giving it back to you. I truly appreciate it. Just as a reminder, make sure you are checking into neweurekan.org for the full events calendar. Make a donation, get some merch. Make sure you're representing the New Eurekan Poets Cafe in your part of the world. Plug into the social medias, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter. Like Ron mentioned, if Monday night is not enough, if you still have some poetry brewing in your system and you need to get it out, plug into Thunder Lung Thursdays. You can bring your instruments, you can bring your comedy, you can bring whatever you need to express, and the Queen Ray Jane will definitely host you and give you space. And if you don't sign up necessarily on time, the good luck round is popping. So make sure you plug in. Again, sending love and positive energy to Advocate of Words. Shout out to First Lady, Letters, La Bruja, Nico Diaz. Make sure you're giving them a follow. Make sure you're signing up next week, the first one of the year. The first one of the year. Again, I'm Elemental. You can find me at elemental.com. I just truly have to say, I love you all. Really, I really can't say how much you folks have really helped me to get through this year. And I'm so much looking forward to what we all create in 2023. I hope that you have a great, happy, and gracious new year. Again, I am looking forward to all of you. Every piece of material that you create for the new year, I am looking forward to it. I will be tapping on a few of your shoulders for a few things that I have going on in the new year. I look forward to it. With that being said, let us end the year for the Monday night online open mic with the way that we started it. And that's with this incredible poem. And before I deliver it, I just want to say again, thank you. It is my pleasure to host such an incredible community. Shout out every single person that has been a part of this, making this year another incredible year. Thank you. And with that, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, hosted by Elemental. On behalf of the community, I would like to say good night, sweet poet. Peace, y'all.